They'll help you design a custom vacation plan that you can't find online. And the service is completely free. You can't compare the value of this to any other online travel company. We can help you plan a custom vacation anywhere in the world. We even offer payment plans with no credit card required. Now you pay off your vacation on your time schedule. Call now and mention the promo code RADIO and save up to $500. Book your custom trip. Call Superior Cruise and Travel now and talk to one of the highest rated travel agencies in the country with a 5-star A+ online rating.
800-570-9631. 800-570-9631. 800-570-9631. That's 800-570-9631.
Welcome, folks, to Fifth Street Sports. I'm Frank Perez. I will be joined with Oklahoma Brian and Florida Rick, my two co-hosts. We are on Sports Byline USA Radio Network, American Forces Network. To the men and women in uniforms, we thank you. iHeartRadio, streaming live on Facebook and YouTube and at Twitter at Fifth Street Sports. Well, guys, it's another beautiful day out here in Vegas. Sunshine. Unbelievable weekend. Brian, we nailed it on Warriors straight up, brother.
That was good. I had a feeling if it was close, they were going to find a way to win it. And it looks like Durant is going to be back too. Might miss the first game, but he'll be back at some point. It looks like.
Man, did you see some of those shots Curry was just taking just from anywhere, 45 feet, just stop, jump, throw it up there, and these things go in. I mean, it's.
I've actually had games like that playing Nerf basketball. And really? Occasionally on a video game. Yeah. From about like 2 or 3 feet away, I could pretty deadly.
But what a heart of a champion. I mean, hey, there he is. Rick, boy, we took you out to the woodshed in that Houston game, my friend.
Yeah, I'm listening to you guys talk. You sure did. I was wrong. I'll be the first to admit it. I thought Houston was going to put them away early, and Golden State was going to pack it in for Game 7. Sure as hell didn't happen. Curry with 33 second-half points. Yeah.
But how typical was it all year? Every time we mentioned a team, Boston, Cleveland, with guys out, wounded, and you said, no, I'm going to take the wounded Duck team. Sure enough, Curry and the other guys just stepped up big.
Yeah. I mean, they played – you know what, I heard the crazy stat, too, that I didn't know about until the game started, that since Durant has joined Golden State – in games that he hasn't played and Curry has played, that they were 26-1 straight up going to that game. And I didn't even know about that. So now they're 27-1. Yeah, that's an incredible stat. Yeah. So
that's unbelievable. I 20, gosh, how come we didn't know that? I would have shipped it even more. I would have actually made some real money on this game. 26-1 without Durant. Well, folks, we got a great show. Florida Rick, Oklahoma Brian. Myself, Frank Perez, when we come back, it's the start of a new week. We're going to do real well. Stay tuned, folks. We got to take a time out. Back after this.
Trade pros. Whether you specialize in service or new construction, Ferguson knows firsthand how much work goes into a long day on the job, which is why we're committed to offering the products and solutions to get every job done right. With over 1,000 locations, an unmatched selection of specialty products, tools, and supplies, our pro pickup and same or next day delivery, you can trust that doing business with Ferguson will be the easiest part of your hard day's work. Visit Ferguson.com to find a counter location near you.
Want to fly somewhere? Looking for cheap flights or cheap tickets? Then call. That's right. Call the low-cost airline travel hotline now for prices so low we can't publish them anywhere. Low-cost airlines has all kinds of cheap travel deals. Fly domestically and save up to 75%. You can even fly internationally and save even more. Yes, fly anywhere in the world and save a lot of money on your plane tickets. We'll even save you money with cheap travel deals on hotels, rental cars, even complete travel packages. So don't book your tickets until you call us first for the absolute cheapest prices on U.S. and international airline tickets and hotels. Call right now for prices so low they can't be published. Travel experts are here 24/7 to help. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. That's 800-754-4531.
Hey travelers, do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first class tickets.
855-325-1780. 855-325-1780. That's 855-325-1780.
Dad, what are you doing?
Cramming for college.
I'm the one going to college.
Yeah, but we need to figure out how we're going to pay for it all.
Discover Student Loans.
Discover does student loans?
Yeah, they're one of the top private student loan lenders in the country. It takes 15 minutes or less to apply, and there are no fees for the life of the loan. Best of all, I can earn cash rewards if I get good grades.
Really?
Yeah, we still have time to apply and get a great rate.
So I can just chill. College kids still say that, right?
No one says that, Dad.
Really?
Yeah.
Visit discoverstudentloans.com to apply today. Limitations apply.
We're back, folks. Fifth Street Sports, Sports Byline USA Radio Network. I'm Frank Perez, joined with Oklahoma Brian and Florida Rick. Guys, I want to get you guys' opinion. I think there's going to be some coaching shakeups here in the NBA. I know this is fresh, but have you guys got anything on that?
Well, yeah, there have been a couple of moves already. This morning, it looks like Jim Boeheim is leaving Michigan to go to Cleveland, and the Lakers finally got their guy, and it wasn't Tyronn Lue. Interestingly, they hired two coaches. It's like, when you don't know if you have the right quarterback, so you go sign a couple guys in case the first guy doesn't work out. They got Frank Vogel, but they also, do you see, Rick, they hired Jason Kidd as well. So they got the backup ready to go in case. I guess if LeBron doesn't like the first guy, you already have someone ready to go.
It's pretty much the same situation with Cleveland and when they had David Blatt and then Tyronn Lue, because that was like LeBron's personal choice to be his top assistant. And then, soon therein they stopped listening to David Blatt and it was pretty much just a face. And, he was out. Well, they fired him like right before the finals or something. It was a crazy thing in the playoffs.
I think it was like a month. Yeah, I think there was like a month or two left. I think it was right after the All-Star break, or maybe not too far after. Yeah. So, let me ask you a question. Which of those jobs would you rather have? The Cleveland, sounds crazy, Cleveland or Los Angeles. Who would want? Well, I'll be careful with what I say. But which of those jobs would you want to have, Cleveland or the Lakers?
Well, myself, I would take the Lakers.
Yeah, I get it, but man, the Lakers are a massive dumpster fire, and I don't know what's your upside there? Like, are you really gonna have results you're gonna be happy with? I guess most coaches are in denial if they think that everything they touch is gonna be decent, but I'd argue that Cleveland's a better job because you're starting at such a low level,
Yeah, except for when you look in the stands and you're in LA and you see the Kardashians and the cheerleaders. In Cleveland, you see like Ned Beatty and forget it. I would take the Lakers for sure because if you're successful, there's a big upside there. What's the upside in Cleveland?
You go to another job and get even more money. I don't know. Well, let me ask you a question. Does it even matter? Do you think that in the NBA, do you think a successful coach even matters that much in terms of wins and losses?
Yeah, I do. Rick, what do you think? We know it's not as big as in college, right?
No, I don't think so. I don't think it's anywhere near there. I think it's just really them and what kind of players they put together on the court. It is for the actual coach doing the X's and O's, game time coach. But I mean, it's an intriguing question because, well, getting back to the Cleveland Lakers, yeah, I mean, the answer off the top of your head would be, of course, Lakers. You think, okay, well, yeah, you're in LA, you've LeBron, but the pressure to win there is greater than probably any other city and franchise, maybe even all sports. And then the expectations are always going to be, unrealistic and just so high, and you're never really going to be able to meet them. While Cleveland, you're starting at the bottom. You're pretty much the worst team in the NBA. Fans know you're going to have to give you a couple of years to even possibly get into the playoffs. I mean, that's it's minimum 2 years before you can even think about just getting the 8th seed. So the Lakers, they're going to want you to win right away. After the first year, I don't know. That's a tough one, but yeah, I mean, I would pick LA too off the top of my head. But the more I think about it, I think maybe a team like Cleveland or Atlanta or Washington or Phoenix, these might be the ideal situation for a coach like Beeline who's jumping from college to the NBA. And you're going to have a bunch of young players, guys coming from college who more like will they're used to those type of coaches rather than the guy who's been in the NBA who's been there for a long time that kind of the players run the show, or in this case LeBron runs the show.
Brian, let me ask you a question. You think you could get your message across? Picture yourself as the coach for let's say the Golden State Warriors, or you're the coach for Minnesota in college. Now, how successful would you be if you went as a coach and said, "Hey, Curry, I don't want you shooting these 3-pointers," or Durant, why didn't you pass it off to this guy? They're going to look at you like a spoiled child where, you're telling that kid in Minnesota with pimples and red hair, like, come on, you got to pass the ball, work it in. He's going to listen to you. Curry and Durant are just going to look at you like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. Well, yeah. And actually the point you were making before about the Kardashians in the front row and all of the things to do in LA, is that something you want as a head coach? I mean, I think you want them. I think you want minimal distractions. I actually think LA is a nightmare place to be a coach because you got to, in addition to coaching, you are a cat herder with a lot of catnip in the room. If I'm herding cats, I don't want extra catnip. I want just a plain Jane room. I don't want a stuffed mouse or chicken liver or any other distractions. And that's kind of what I think you get in Cleveland. You can just, so.
Well, yeah, I mean, you sure do. I mean, have you ever been to Cleveland? I think if they offered me that in the witness protection, I would go ahead and just go back to court,
Actually, it's not a bad place at all. I actually like Cleveland, but
really?
It's an easy punchline. Yeah, the downtown Cleveland's nice, but I know it's not a kind of place that anybody thinks about retiring to or going on vacation to, for sure.
But definitely, if you make the playoffs in LA, I mean, that's big time. You're going to get celebrities. You're going to see Nichols. You're going to see all of the movie stars there. Everything. It's.
Yeah, but do you get credit if you have LeBron and you're on the Lakers and you win a championship? I don't know how much credit you actually get. I think you can only get blamed. You're the punching bag if things don't go well. Man, I think it's a terrible job. Even Tyrone, do you think Tyrone Lue wanted the job? I mean, they basically told him, this is the job. This is your job if you want it. And he came back what did he ask? He asked for a 5-year guaranteed contract. To me, that's like saying, hold on a second. I don't think I want this job. I'm going to give you a reason.
I have a question. What do you guys make a line? Will Jason Kidd be the head coach of the Lakers before the end of next season?
Ooh, gosh.
Boy, that should be a prop. If I'm running the stage, but that's a great prop bet to put up. what a conversation starter. I would say he's the coach. I would make the line on will he be the coach by the All-Star break.
Wow. Well, what if you put up dual lines and you can bet them both?
Yeah.
Like, okay,
Yeah.
So by the All-Star break, boy, that's got to be a bigger dog there. Let me see. Gosh, I can't even make a. Well, you make a line, Rick.
By the end of next season, I think they have to let Vogel finish out his first season. So I'd say no minus 400, comeback plus 300. Now, if he did it by the end of the second season, at that point, I'd make yes a favorite. I'd say yes, probably minus 200, no plus 160, something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
My gosh, that's. Well, let's
It
see.
also
I think he's there.
Now,
Yeah, it depends on what kind of money is guaranteed and those kind of things.
Brian, but coming back to the coaching, I think you're right. I think even with all these rings that Golden State have, like you never see Steve Kerr being named, right?
Well, I think Kerr has gotten a lot of credit. I mean, he deserves a lot of credit because this was a night and day change from Mark Jackson. I mean, they were brutal one day, and the next day they're winning championships. That seemed to coincide pretty much with the arrival of, and I don't know how great a coach he is, but he will always get credit for that. 1 minute Mark Jackson is clapping his hands and saying, "Come," he's kind of I think of him as like the stereotype of the worst coach possible, and that does he really add anything other than he's basically a glorified cheerleader. And I think that
Brian, hold it. We gotta bring that thought back. We gotta take a break, folks. It's time. Fifth Street Sports back after this.
Hi, I'm Dr. Robert Clapper, Chief of Orthopedic Surgery at Cedars-Sinai Medical Group in Los Angeles, California. Dedicated to your health, your life, and your sports. As a weekend warrior, you know about sports injuries and pain. Exercise is an important element in keeping your body's core in good shape to minimize sports injuries. But when you are in pain, there is one product that I recommend to my patients, and that is Blue Goo Gel. Blue Goo consists of a proprietary formula developed specifically for the treatment of inflammation and general muscle aches and strains. I recommend Blue Goo for my patients coping with hip and knee pain before surgery, especially bursitis and tendinitis. Give Blue Goo a try. Call 1-888-330-0123 and you'll receive a 1-week supply of Blue Goo absolutely free. The makers of Blue Goo are even paying the shipping. The number again is 1-888-330-0123. If you want more information on Blue Goo, visit online at www.dothegoo.com.
Now available at select Big 5 stores near you.
Attention business owners. Now is the perfect time to start saving money on your cable TV bill for your business. We can give you packages with up to 90 great channels and save your business a ton of cash. And if you call right now, you can learn how to get free equipment and free installation. Now you have choices. It's time to start saving money on your cable TV bill for your business. And call today and get 90 channels plus free equipment and free installation. Smart business owners like you all across the country are consolidating and saving money on their cable TV, internet, and phone service for their business. So now's the perfect time. This may be a limited time offer to the first 100 people that call right now. So please save money and call now.
800-470-7113. 800-470-7113. 800-470-7113. That's 800-470-7113.
Attention, this important consumer alert is brought to you by Annuity Action Network. Hey, did you know it's possible to receive upfront money from your monthly settlement payments? It's true. If you receive monthly payments from an annuity or a structured settlement and you need a lump sum immediately, then you need to call Annuity Action Network. With your cash today, you can pay off credit card debt, pay medical bills, fund your education, or improve your home. You don't need to wait. Call the Annuity Action Network now to get your fast cash with no hidden costs. And if you call today, we'll even send you a $100 cash gift card just for verifying your settlement payments and your contact information. If you have a structured settlement or an annuity and you want cash now, call Annuity Action Network right now.
800-514-9170. 800-514-9170. That's 800-514-9170.
All right, folks, we're back. It's Fifth Street Sports on Sports Byline USA Radio Network, iHeart, American Forces, streaming live, Facebook and YouTube. Hey, Brian, let's get back to when, before we went to the break, you were touching on a pretty interesting thing there about the coaching situation.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, my point was basically, I thought that Mark Jackson was kind of the example of the nothing coach, but I don't know that it really makes a difference. I think for the most part, I wonder if you were to run this experiment, if it were possible, if you could take an identical team and put a good, let's say not a great coach, but a pretty good coach, college coach, Boehlein's a great example. He's a good college coach. And you took an AAU coach, from some traveling team from Memphis or LA or something, and you put him on an NBA team, would the results really be that different?
Boy, that's one. Rick could give you a better one than that. I mean, a better answer than me. Better answer than me.
I don't think they would be that significantly different. I think you're looking at maybe a couple more wins with the established college coach in Beilein, but I think when push comes to shove in the NBA, it's all with the personnel you have on the team and the players on the floor, and it's not really about X's and O's, because you're going to get a couple, veterans who are going to pretty much determine what's going to happen, come game time, and especially in the key plays. And I don't think the coaches really have that big of a factor in the whole deal. So I would say no. And I think coaches are way, way overpaid, and I think the basketball coaches, yeah, they may mean a little bit, but then you get the baseball coaches, managers, and I mean, how much are those guys really worth? I can make a case. You can make a case for saying they're worth less than the player minimum, or way less than the player minimum, maybe like the rookie minimum. So what in reality, what do they really do? I've thought about this for a while too. Baseball coaches.
Well, I agree. The only thing is, the amount of the payrolls are so high on baseball teams. If you basically put a guy, if you sent Walter Matthau out to coach, the Dodgers, they're going to run over him if you're not paying the guy a lot of money, right? I mean, you almost kind of need to stake the guy with a decent salary just to give him any kind of credibility. But
right.
Yeah, I don't know. That'd be a great experiment. If I owned a baseball, I doubt Walter Matthau's still alive. Is he?
No, he's not. He's not. I was going to ask you, the dead Walter Matthau or the alive?
Yeah. Wow. You put Walter Matthau out there, I think those guys would come to play. You know what I mean? But
I think so. Yeah.
But let me ask you a question. All right, here I'll lay it on you guys. You, Brian, or Rick, if you had to be the head coach of the, let's say, last year's Red Sox, Golden State Warriors, New England Patriots, or whoever the coach was for I think the Caps won the NHL. Which job do you guys think, if you had 30 days to prepare, and then they had to listen to you, which job do you think that you would be able to get that club as close as possible?
Great. Well, so don't you think a big part of it is they have to, you have to have some kind of credibility in the sport, of which I would have none in either sport. So that'd be a challenge. But yeah, hockey. I mean, what is a hockey? Hockey. I think of a hockey coach as kind of a psychologist, and he has to kind of know who to put in the same lines and when to make line changes. But I kind of rate that as a low, impact manager. Rick makes a good point about baseball. Clearly, football is the hardest one.
Right?
Would you guys agree?
Exactly.
100%. Yep.
100%.
Yeah.
So you matching Belichick would definitely be the biggest, or any of us matching Belichick would be the biggest, the toughest one. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Now hockey's more complicated than you think with all those line changes and.
Yeah. Speaking of, I know it's not considered a major sport in the U.S., but soccer. I always think of soccer. I wonder. I mean, I'm sure.
What do you do in soccer? What do you do in soccer?
Formation, I guess, with substituting in the 82nd minute. But yeah, I agree. I don't think it's a. I think that's actually one of the biggest overrated sports jobs in all of sports is elite soccer coach.
You have no idea what you're talking about, Ryan. Not a single clue, man. Oh man, you're killing me here. I don't want to go into the intricacies here, but come on, so disingenuous. Really? It's not just, I'm going to sub this guy on. There's a whole level of thought that comes into how you implement your style of play with your team. It's not just you put out one single person and they just run the show for you. You have a unified game plan, so to speak, that's happening in real time. So not only do you have to make adjustments on the field as the game's rolling, but you have to be smart about substitutions as well. You also have to be smart about what the other team's doing. I mean, there's no coaching job that is overrated, all right? I really genuinely don't think there is a single coaching job out there that is overrated because it's either managing egos, managing egos, personalities, managing the game, managing expectations, protecting your players from, media harassment. I mean, that's a whole nother level to it. But to say that soccer as a sport is overrated to coach, oh man.
Well,
you guys laugh, but I mean, it's like I don't. You guys have no idea, man. It's
but it just seems like the same movie. Like it's like a Wendy's commercial.
Oh, you could say the same thing about the NFL, right? You could be like, oh, they're throwing the ball now, or oh, they're running the ball now. I mean, there's really, if you want to be that disingenuous, and you want to break it down to that tiny part. There's so much going on that, it's a game that if you're involved with, you can see what's happening and you understand it.
But Andrew, all the stuff that's going on, where is it happening? I mean, when
on the field in front of your eyes, Frank.
I see these 0-0 games. Nothing's happening. I mean,
there is something happening. It's a chess match, Frank. There's not as much coach intervention, so to speak, as there is in football. Right? But I mean, you could say the same thing about basketball in that regard, right? What's the coach doing? Well, the coach is figuring out what kind of style of play they're going to implement and the kind of plays they're going to run, right? It's a similar kind of thing.
Well, I think I could have got the Golden State Warriors to the championship last year. I do.
Wait, going back to soccer though, Andrew, these guys don't even speak the same language, right? Like how do they?
No, a lot of them do. A lot of them do, and a lot of them have to learn the language of the country they're in if they want to play there. I know a family that's very, very close with the Portland Timbers, an MLS team here in the States, obviously Portland. And all the players that they're close with are Spanish-speaking players. They all are learning English or speak English or have to be around English to actually manage it. It's not like you just get a bunch of foreign-speaking players in a room and then all of a sudden they can play. It's a team game, and it's, You guys are killing me. This is my first day back, and you guys are killing me today.
No, but seriously, I mean, like, do you think you can tell Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo what to do?
It's not about that. It's not about that, Frank. I mean, you were saying the same thing earlier. If I had to pick, I'd take the Lakers because in basketball you have fewer players on the court, obviously, and single players have a much larger impact on the game than in football, or I mean, even in football to a certain degree, right? But that's more so positions. But singular players have a much larger impact on the game in basketball than they would in soccer or even baseball, or you can name a bunch of other sports. And I think LA is the kind of place where you have LeBron already. You just need to make sure that you're managing the other egos in the locker room. I mean, LeBron's included. It's a much harder thing than you think, distractions included. But, I mean, you're not going to sit there and tell somebody how to do their job. But if your job is to be the manager of a team, specifically in professional soccer or any professional sports, you have to have a great knowledge of how you want to play the game. Well, I mean, you have guys that are told one thing to do their whole career, right? I mean, you could look at you could use the rigidness of NFL as an example, right? You could sit there and be like, oh, they have to learn these playbooks, and it's the coaches that want these plays to be, memorized and stuff. It doesn't go that far, But there's, a specific way that coaches want their players to play, and you have to manage that because ultimately the coach is kind of the, playing chess there, in that regard.
I'm going to disagree in the NBA though. I
don't know about the NBA. I'm just using the NBA as a as a reference for egos and managing personalities. The job's much more than just basketball, but I mean, basketball is kind of one of those sports where you can have one or two guys that are just absolutely insane, and if they're a few steps above everybody else, and you have some guys that are average, you can win. You can win plenty of games.
Well,
I do think the point that you made initially, though, about being the master psychologist, that's the most underrated part in coaching, right? All professional coaching. And I think basketball is a great example. Being able to motivate a 21-year-old when your competitor can't, when the other team can't.
So you don't believe that Rick would have gotten the Golden State Warriors to the playoffs this year?
I think Walter Matthau could have gotten him there.
So do I.
Yeah, but that's basketball. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I mean, you have a team of some of the greatest NBA players of this generation, literally nowhere else but at Golden State. I mean, that's just such an insane team,
It is insane. Don't you think, though, there's a phenomenon in soccer for great coaches to overmanage, to overcoach their team and have a negative impact where a less complicated coach would have a better result?
Well, we could talk about that after the break, but it comes down to a few different things, at least in my experience as well, playing in college and stuff like that. It's not necessarily, one for one at the professional level because you have people making money doing it, players, included. But
Andrew,
we could
talk
about it
buddy.
At the end of the break, yeah.
Guys, we got to take a break. When we come back, talk you can bet on. Back right after this, folks.
The great thing about facts, they're proven. Like the fact that crude oil contains impurities, or that base oil made from natural gas is 99.5% free of impurities. And the fact that Pennzoil is the first synthetic motor oil made from natural gas, not crude oil. It gives you unbeatable engine protection. The proof is in the Pennzoil. Based on Sequence 4A wear test using SAE 5W30. Get a $100 travel reward credit with a full synthetic oil change through October 31st, 2019. Terms apply. Visit pennzoil.com/travel-on.
At Indeed, we believe a resume is a great way to see an overview of a candidate, but you're not hiring a resume, you're hiring a person. That's why Indeed offers tools that help bridge the gap between a candidate and the resume, like skill tests, which let you actually see a candidate's abilities in action to make sure they're a good fit for the job. See beyond the resume with Indeed. Experience Indeed for yourself today and get a free sponsored job upgrade on your first posting at Indeed.com/promo. Terms and conditions apply.
It has been said that everyone has a book in them. But do you have the time or the ability to write your book? Maybe you picked up some skills or had a life experience that you want to pass on in the form of a book to help others. Maybe you want to leave an autobiography for your family. Or maybe you've built a successful business and you want to share your story. At Dorrance Publishing Company, we have professional writers who can help turn your book idea into a finished manuscript quickly and affordably. A Dorrance ghostwriter can provide as much or as little help as you need to complete your book. You'll work directly with your ghostwriter to finish your book faster than you ever could on your own. It's easy to become a published author. Call Dorrance now to learn more. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. Call right now. That number is 800-485-6003.
I'm Nick Ebram. I like to have a nice smooth shave. I do have a goatee. I like to make sure the skin around it is nice and smooth. And when you're using one of those disposable razors, you never know what you're going to get. You don't get a great shave. I tell you, I have found the solution to my shaving issues with Harry's razors. Non-slip, comfortable handle. I think these are absolutely the best. Right now, you can get a $13 value trial set. Comes with everything you need for a close, comfortable shave. Weighted ergonomic handle, a 5-blade razor with a lubricating strip, a rich lathering shave gel, a travel blade cover. You can get a $13 value trial set right now. Go to harrys.com/World Soccer. Go right now, harrys.com/World Soccer. Redeem your offer right now and let them know that I, Nick Ebers, sent you. harrys.com/World Soccer to go get your Harry's razors.
Folks, we are back. It is Fifth Street Sports. I'm Frank Perez, joined with Florida Rick and Oklahoma Brian. We are on the segment of talk you can bet on. We have broken down, well, it looks like you guys, I could be the coach for the Boston Reds. No, this year, give me the coach of the Houston Astros. I bet you I make the playoffs. You know, I got my 5-man rotation. I got my relievers. The infield's penciled in. The outfield's penciled in every day. You give the catcher a day off every 10 days, and that's it. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, I know it sounds like we're being over simplistic, but I think it's a little more simple than we realize. But I also think that when you critique coaches as being good, it's a staff of coaches, and it's not just one coach. In the case of baseball, I think it's not so much the head guy that chews the sunflowers. It's all of his, sunflower assistants, the pitching coach and the bullpen coach and it's the brain trust of all of them. So I think you do have to have. Obviously, we know baseball has become an incredibly analytic sport now. Every element of the game is measured and dissected, but I still think the overall. It's like Andrew was saying before. I think it's more psychology than anything else. Getting millionaires to be motivated to show up and do their job every day.
It is. Only thing I know is if I was coaching a baseball team, the first thing I do in spring training with my pitchers is, you guys, we're not going to be doing the very much pitch counting, so you better learn to go deep, just like the old days. I know you guys are grown men, and you guys are going to be throwing a lot of pitches here. None of this 88 pitch, 90 pitch, pull you in the bottom of the fifth. None of this. We're going to play when it was a game. Remember when it was a game?
Yeah, well, they weren't making. They didn't have $320 million contracts when it was a game.
But they didn't get injured back then. Now they got $320 million contracts, pitch counts, and they're always injured. They're out, elbow, Tommy John surgery. There was no Tommy John surgery in the 30s and 40s. You know what I mean? None of this stuff.
They didn't have crew chiefs.
They didn't have Tommy John, right?
No, they didn't have Tommy John.
But anyways, well, Rick, okay, we'll start with Rick. You guys a little early, but do you have anything we could start dabbling in to make some dough?
I mean, I could give it baseball games out. Since we have a very light schedule, we only have a couple plays tonight, and we have a whole segment here. Do we want to discuss real quick that Liverpool Man City situation yesterday?
Sure.
It's pretty fascinating to watch. Liverpool and Man City were going for the EPL title. I guess Liverpool was 1 point behind, so they needed Man City to draw and win. And Man City fell behind 1-0. Liverpool already had a 1-0 lead. You're thinking, wow, Man City's got to score 2 goals. Well, I believe Man City scored a goal like a minute or two after they fell behind 1-0, and I think they scored another goal a few minutes after that, and another goal maybe like 5 or 10 minutes later. And before you knew it, it was 3-1, and then I think 4-1. So Man City, I think, wins the title by 1 point. So it's sad, but Liverpool's in the Champions League final. So it's really, I don't know what's more important, to get to the Champions League final or to win your league titles. I would assume getting to the Champions League final would be a bigger deal, right? Well, it's kind of like the playoffs.
I don't know.
So they don't have a playoffs.
Andrew, what would you rather have done? Would you rather win the league or make it to Champions League final?
He's going to come back. Andrew had to go do some adjusting, but I believe Nick said that the Champions League is more important. But did you guys read the corruption with Manchester Man City in the they may be suspended for a couple years, possibly, with all the shenanigans that they're doing with the payroll and the way they're violating all kinds of financial.
Oh, it's like a financial fair play argument?
Yeah. You should read up on it. This could cost them $1 billion if they get sanctioned out of the Champions League for a couple years. They found out that they're paying these guys illegally.
Well, that happened. Remember in the Scottish Premier League with Rangers, right? They got relegated to the 3rd division because they were helping players dodge taxes and doing other things that gave them a competitive advantage over their opponents, and they sent them to the 3rd division. So they went from playing in front of 80,000 people home games. I guess they still had the same stadium, but they were going on road games to play basically teams that were like a one level above bar teams, with 600 people in the stands. And they had to, and you can't jump from the third division all the way up to the Premiership. You got to go, for the third, for the whatever it is, you have to go up one rung of the ladder at a time. So even if you are perfect, it's going to take you 3 or 4 years to get back to the Premiership. Huh.
Yeah, I just wonder if Man City's too big or got too much money to actually get really sanctioned the way that they're supposed to. By the way, there's Charlie right behind you.
I think that was bingo, actually.
Oh, is that bingo?
That is bingo. Yeah, that's bingo.
Anyway, so Rick, here we go. Now we'll go to Rick. Real light card in baseball today, right? I only got one, you guys. I'll shoot it out there. I actually got this game. Okay, let me tell you where I spied on this game. I actually got access to an account that the guy's a professional bettor, and he's on the TV shows right now doing very well. I'm not going to mention his name, but it's under.
Does it rhyme with anything?
Yeah, it's got, he's still on. He's been winning a lot of days in a row. Anyways, I got his account, and he's under 4.5 in the Houston-Detroit game. First 5 innings. First 5 innings.
Because that's a low total. Okay, first 5 innings. Otherwise, that sounds like a horrible bet, going under 4.5 on anything. Baseball.
Yeah. First 5 innings, under 4.5, Houston-Detroit. I'll give that to you from a supposedly sharp account.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I always like unders on Mondays, so I'm all for that. I always have a theory that Mondays are very low scoring. It's not like a hangover day. You have the whole weekend excitement, and now you got to play on a Monday night. No one really wants to be out there. It's kind of like going to work on Mondays. You have a full-time job, and you just go through the motions. And I always think unders on Mondays are good plays. So, if I don't have an opinion in the game, I would just by default go under. So I agree with it.
But not you. You don't think that way on Mondays, do you?
Oh yeah. Still have it's ingrained in you since you were 3 years old. You've got to go to school on Mondays, then you got to go to work on Mondays. So yeah, it'll just be there for life, even if we don't have a full time job. So anyway,
they have a song like that. Rainy days and Mondays always get me down. Remember that song, "Rainy Days and Mondays" by the Carpenters?
Yeah. Carpenters, sure.
Hey, let me ask you a question. Right now, which ends first? The NBA finals or this guy getting thrown off the Jeopardy game?
Well, I don't think Jeopardy is going to be taping again until September.
Oh, okay.
So
I didn't know that.
I could have made a big bet with you and probably
well, no. Yeah, that's true. But who knows? I mean, these NBA games, every time, as soon as the playoffs start, I start planting in my backyard. I've already got an apple tree grown by the time this thing's over with. When does it end? I mean, when does this NBA playoffs end?
That's why they call it the Never-Ending Basketball Association. It doesn't end. It's like when I was convinced when I was a kid that there really wasn't a Davis Cup. When you were a kid, you would read that the U.S. got knocked out of the Davis Cup, and then I swear it was like within a week later we were qualifying again for the next Davis Cup. It's like
that's right.
It's like when you play pinball and your ball disappears, the game's over. You just put another quarter in, you're playing again. That's what it feels like.
That's right. But well, you guys, so that's my little money making baseball thing today. Hopefully, if you guys got any, just welcome to share it here with the folks.
Okay, I got 2 plays I'm going to give out, but Brian, you want to go first?
No, you go next. I'm looking for plays right now.
Okay. So I like first play is game 909, the Angels with Skaggs playing at Minnesota with Barrios. I like Skaggs here on the Angels getting about plus 130 to plus 135. I think the Angels been hitting the ball really well of late. Barrios has been up and down. Skaggs been pitching pretty well. I like the fact that you're getting a dollar here, even though they're on the road. I like the Angels line up better. I think the Twins at some point are going to fold. I don't think it's going to be now, but at some point they're going to have a pretty long losing streak, and Cleveland's going to take over that top spot. I don't want it to happen because I like the Twins, but I kind of think it'll happen. But it may not be for another couple months. But I do like the Angels tonight getting that 130, 135. And my other play, which I like a lot, this is my top play of the day, is game 914 Seattle at home, about minus 122, minus 124 against Oakland, and that's Kikuchi against Fiers. And Fiers coming off that no-hitter against Cincinnati. And one of my favorite things I've done for many years is fading a pitcher their next game out after they've thrown like a no-hitter or perfect game. the
Absolutely.
price is really low here. Price is extremely low, -1. If he didn't throw that no-hitter, this price probably would have been about -145 or so. But because he threw a no-hitter, the line's about 20-25 cents lower than what it should be. It's not obviously not going to come out with the same stuff he had. The guy's has a 6 ERA for the year. Kikuchi's been maybe Seattle's top pitcher, starter this year with ERA in the low 3s. Seattle's at home, and I think the price is just really low. I really like Seattle here. This is my top play, and definitely top play of the day, -122, 124.
Couldn't agree more. That was my I totally heard someone talking about this morning, talked to a few other people, everyone saying the same thing. You're exactly what you said. Yeah, fading the guy after the no-hitter, one of the really one of the absolute must-play strategies for all professional gamblers is that. And what you said, Frank, look, these guys don't go complete games anymore. So it's got to be kind of a shock to the system to throw a no-hitter. You got to throw a complete game. You got to wonder what the bounce with a modern pitcher is like. I think it's even more drastic in 2019 than it would have been 10 years ago because it's so rare to go that many pitches.
Yeah. How many? That's the question: is how difficult of a game was it for him? He may have had a low pitch count game. He like 1, 2, 3 pop up first pitch.
Still got to go 90.
Yeah, I think he did like 120 pitches or so. He only walked 2, so it was a low pitch count for a 9-inning game, but he still threw in the 120 range. But the other thing is, remember, he was playing Cincinnati, and there's a lot of these no-hitters in perfect games now in the early games. When teams aren't used to seeing the other guy. So Fiers been mainly an American League pitchers throughout his career. So, I think that's another thing to add in. He's going to Cincinnati, who's been stellar offensive team this year, and they're facing him for the first time. Most of these guys haven't seen him before, so you throw that in the mix. And now he's going to play at Seattle, a divisional rival, on the road. Coming off that performance, and I kind of expect for him to last no more than 5 innings. So I like Seattle first 5 innings too. Probably on the same
Totally
price.
agree. Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Totally agree.
You got anything else you found there, Brian?
Yeah. So I also like. I think there's a little bit of value. I don't like to play chalk too much in baseball, but wait, you gave a play out on the Minnesota game, Rick? What did you have in the Minnesota game?
Yeah.
You had
I took
Minnesota?
the Angels.
Oh.
No,
Yeah,
I took the Angels.
You took the Angels. The price has moved quite a bit, though. I'm starting to see some sharp accounts buy back on Minnesota a little bit. And I think at this price, it has dropped 11 cents, right?
Yeah, it's actually dropped closer to 15 cents. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I see your point. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I still like the Angels, but you're right. It would have been much nicer to get them a plus 145 than plus 130.
Yeah, right. There was a ton of sharp accounts on the Angels this morning. I'm seeing that in a bunch of sharp accounts here. I just see the prices they took aren't prices we could get right now.
You guys hold it when we come back. And by the way, I just found us a great nugget in the French Open. Nice price. When we come back, guys, I'm going to share that with you. To win the French Open, we'll be back right after this, folks.
Remember in the beginning, when you first started to build a life for you and your family, you never imagined it would come to this. Instead of living your dreams, you're living with debt. In fact, it's smothering you. Now there's a way you can take back control with one simple call. If you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt, you qualify to receive a free, no-obligation consultation on how to get rid of that debt for good. Call the Debt Helpline now. We work on your behalf to reduce your debt. We specialize in credit cards, retail store cards, and medical bills. One simple call is all it takes to get the ball rolling to a debt-free life. Stop living with debt and start living your dreams. Call the Debt Helpline now.
800-957-6063. 800-957-6063. 800-957-6063. That's 800-957-6063.
At 28, I had struggled with opiate and meth addiction for 12 years. I did and said things that the sober me never would have done. One day I realized I was not invincible. I was not exempt. And that's when a friend told me about Elite Rehab Placement. They gave me the tools I needed to get sober, and all it took was the one phone call.
Elite Rehab can help you start to break your addiction problem and get sober in as little as 7 days. And we'll work with your insurance provider to help cover the costs. Plus, we have travel assistance programs to get you here by plane or train. Make this free call right now to learn more. 800-403-5912. 800-403-5912. 800-403-5912. That's 800-403-5912. Do you have a problem hearing the television? Do you need to crank up the volume so loud your family is screaming at you? Then put on your TV ears. TV Ears has helped millions of people just like you hear TV loud and clear without cranking up the volume. For about $60 with a 30-day free trial, you can get your own set of TV ears. When you wear TV ears, you can mute the TV volume for private listening or let others watch TV with you. Order in the next 10 minutes and take us up on our 30-day home trial and very special price. TV Ears is a brand hearing professionals have trusted for more than 20 years. And through this special radio offer, you can get your very own for just $60. Just mention promo code RADIO. So put on your TV ears and make everyone happy. 800-984-4207. 800-984-4207. 800-984-4207. That's 800-984-4207.
Guys, Fifth Street Sports, Frank Perez, Oklahoma, Brian, Florida Rick. Guys, I forgot to tell you guys, I have a very, very good tennis guy. He gave me a 30, well, he's 33-1 at this site. His name is spelled Tisitsipas. Tsitsipas. He just beat Nadal in the semis in 3 sets, 2-1. But he lost to Djokovic in the finals. But they said this kid is a real deal. He's 20 years old, 33-1 in the French Open. They love him. I mean, they said he can take Nadal out. He just beat him. He just beat Nadal.
I love big dogs in the French Open. Seems like that's when all the huge upsets happen, right?
Tsitsipas. And my friend even said from Roland Garros, he said, I believe I've seen the draw. And if it goes naturally, I don't think you get more money parlaying him through. He's that good. This kid is that good. Huh. He was plus 485 against Nadal. Won the first set, broke him. Nadal hasn't been broken in I don't know how many sets. He broke him 3 times in the first set.
Wait, when did they play?
They played this last one. It was, I don't know, Portugal or one of those places.
Okay.
Just
one of the tune-ups.
But now they go to the French Open, and and where Nadal's the favorite, and they said this kid has just ran over Nadal.
Huh.
20 years old.
It does. It also. Yeah, it seems like the French Open's always the breakthrough event where guys you've never heard of make a huge entry into the sport, and it's also where the big names tumble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just put a few shekels on him. So you guys, we got so Rick, you got the Angels. Then you and Brian both like Seattle real strong tonight. The no hitter theory.
Yep. Game in first half.
Under 4.5 in Houston, Detroit. Real light card, right?
Yeah. It's only 7 baseball and 1 hockey. That's it.
Hockey, it looks like Boston. Boy, they opened up a double can on Carolina, right?
Sure did, yeah.
So we got that with small plays, you guys. Hopefully, I can't wait for the WNBA, you guys. That's where.
Has anyone ever said that before?
Really? Well, it's all about the Benjamins over here. I could really care less than who wins it. Anyways, guys, I appreciate you and thank you very much. Fifth Street Sports. We'll see you tomorrow, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern.